Anyone else fired up, ready to go? I'm just ready for them to kick it off right now. Hell, I was ready for them to play at noon at the Mall of America. Just have them line up in the rotunda. Go ahead. Yeah, why not? Minnesota Vikings are set to take on the Greasy Green Bay Packers Monday Night Football here at historic US Bank Stadium. The Packers are the worst 11-3 football team in NFL history, and the Minnesota Vikings working to win this game and improve their playoff stock. Already got the playoff spot locked up. Now moving on to get to the 3 seed, potentially the 2 seed, and retake the NFC North crown. Lots of weird things going to be going on. That's why football is so fun. Merry Christmas, happy holidays out there to you and yours. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really weird week. Hey, shout out to all the Jeromes. Wow. Lots of Jeromes already in the chat. Love you guys. We're going to be doing a little Q&A, a little just BSing session. Also, if you want to toss in a super chat, we'll make sure that your question gets answered first in the queue. You know what's up. So it's been an interesting week because I want to talk about Packer fans. Now, as many of you may know, we had a 1 week vacation from the old YouTubes because we were reported for hate speech on these videos. And now we surmise that it was likely like Packer fan trolls or maybe even some haters just like whatever, like flag. We got caught up in the algorithm. It happens. Now the thing about the comment section is I like it to be YOLO for the most part. You know, as long as you're not cursing at people or being profane or just doing anything like that, it's pretty much like whatever. I like that people get to say their piece and move on with it, right? But it's weird with the Packer fans. It's like you would not believe how many Packer fans are just all up in the chats of the videos and in the comment section. And it's kind of like, hey, screw you guy who talks for the other team. I'm going to watch your videos and give you like 2 cents of Google ad revenue. So suck on that there, big fella. I don't know why that sounded like your grandma, but whatever. It's a weird thing. And I don't have time to go through and watch like Packer fan equivalents of me stuff. So I actually wonder, are Vikings fans like this? I really hope not, because I mean, there's better things to do with your life, man. Because yeah, it's so funny. This guy is so biased for the Vikings. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Congratulations. You want a cookie? You figured it out. Well, you busted the caper wide open, Nancy Drew. Just amazing stuff. Yeah, but it's going to get settled on the field. Also, I'm writing a lot of checks that hopefully my team's ask in cash because 41-12 final score prediction. I don't know. I just feel good. I just feel good about tonight. I actually feel like this is going to be a very one-sided all Vikings affair on this one. And also, I do believe that Mike Boone will have over 100 yards rushing and just completely destroy things. Also, speaking of checks that my ass is not looking forward to cashing. So, remember, we remade the deal. Now, remember, the original OG deal was, well, paraphrasing here, but it was like 10K subs by some event. And, the Dromes, they put up the good fight. They came up a little bit short. So that's why I didn't chug or shotgun the Four Loko at that point. But now I reopen things up again. Because remember, we said 20K by kickoff. So you have about 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes, give or take. If you got 20K subs by kickoff, this bad boy will be going down at the end of the game. Now, we're currently at, I like checking this out live on the air. We're currently at 19,974. So we got 26 people to go. So are there 26 new Jeromes out there? And no, don't just create new YouTube accounts just to like job me over on this one. Because when did this thing expire? I actually don't think that there's an expiration date on this because it probably doesn't even care. This is 12% booze. But yeah, a deal is a deal. So 20K by the kickoff, by the time Paul Allen says, boom, we're going to be good to go. All right. Put that. Hopefully that can stay there. I'm not going to lie. Just kind of look forward to it. All right. Into the chat. Holy crap. Got a lot of Jeromes out there going on. Where's everyone watching the game? Are you at the game? If it's cool, that's pretty badass that you're streaming us on the old YouTube in the in the parking lot, in the packing lot. Actually, how long Now doors are probably open. People are already in stadium now. All right, let's see here. Yeah, people's like, if we don't get the 26, I'm gonna be pissed. Yeah, I know. Kind of me too. It's like, yeah, I've never been into like, oh crap, I already got 4. All right, so yeah, I've never been into like, hey, this channel, like, we have this many views or we have this many subs or this and that. Like, I've never really been like boastful or prideful about it, but it is really cool how we built up this neat little community of people, and you know, the whole thing is that we don't have to agree on things. Like half the people who subscribe to this channel, I'm sure, are hardcore cousins do or die. A lot of people are never cousins people, and a lot of people like myself are like, when he's good, we say he's good, when he's bad, we say he's bad. One of those things, right? All right, people. Oh yeah, yeah. Chime in from where you're from. Let's give some shout outs. Jake's Skull from Northwest Iowa. Skull out there. 4 Sports Vids in Australia. What is up? Canada. Terry and John to that work on the TV because the store is hella empty. Is it a Circuit City? Please say it's not a Circuit City, because Terry, and you might want to update your cover letter. Let's see here. Minnesota. I'm in Columbia for family, and I'm going to watch it from my phone. Wait, now, like Columbia, like the country, or like Columbia, like Missouri? Yeah. Let's see here. Waticon, New Prague, Minnesota. Shout out to New Prague. Bryce N, South Dakota. Thank you for Brock Lesnar. That's right. Jake T, huge Vike fan from Maine. Thank you for Origin, Maine. Love me some Jacko. Eric Moskoll from rural Minnesota. That sounds like a witness protection. Yeah, your name ain't Eric. You're a witsec. You ratted on the mob, man. A Lazy Llama, London. What is going on? All right, a couple more of these. Oh, wow. All right, Arkansas, Sweden, Baltimore, B-More, what's up? Pennsylvania, Indy, Northern Utah, another South Dakota, North Carolina, LaPorte, Minnesota, Milwaukee, a.k.a. Northern Chicago. Yeah. Powerful South Dakota in the house. You are not watching from North Dakota or North Korea. Get out of here. All right. So, Packers night. I just feel like this Packers team, you know how the Vikings have gotten roasted for like, well, who have they played? Who have they played? Blah, blah, blah. Well, the Packers have the same schedule minus 2 games, right? So how come that isn't being held against the Packers the same way? PK in the super chat. I got Vikes in 4 parlays. Let's effing go. Skull. Yeah, that'd be big. Yeah, that'd be pretty damn big. The entire is like, who have they played? What have they done? Even though Rodgers is behind in every statistical category feasible in terms of measuring quarterback quality of play behind Kirk Cousins, he just has not been himself. I feel like if you do deep dive on the Packers offense, it's very helter-skeltery. It's very systematic. And even if you go back and look at what he did with Mariota in Tennessee last year, you could just tell it's like, this is a guy who's just in love with how he calls plays as opposed to just catering to his talent. And I think that's going to come back and bite them in the ass eventually. I don't think this is going to work out long term. You can see that their offense is already shades of McCarthyism, where they're just reliant on 2 players. Now, McCarthy, it was Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb. And now with Matt LaFleur, the 12-year-old boy, it's Devontae Adams and it's Aaron Jones. So they're actually giving Jones the time of day. But who else do they have? Plus, their offensive line behind Bakhtiari is garbage. I think that's going to get tested tonight. Like, whoa. Shout out to Trent Zimmerman. We got $5 in the super chat. Skull, Pride of Montana. Zimbelman. I get that right. Love you, Trent. Also, Terrion Johnson, $1.99. What's your thought on the Sluter Packer Week 17? Well, if they start David Bling Bling Blau, Lions are going to lose. But if they start Kyle, Jerome, Ezekiel, Balthazar, Sluter, he will get it done because he is a sleeper agent. Always has been, always will be of the Minnesota Vikings, and it'll be just great to see. Kami Sanders, $2. Skull from Louisiana. A shout out in the super chat. All right, and then also on the defensive side of the ball, I do have a lot of respect for Mike Pettin. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but I mean they've had a couple of injuries, especially up front and in the secondary. And yeah, Preston, Zadarius Smith have been doing great things. Congratulations on your purchases. I mean, it's like when someone spends 10 or 15 grand on a European like backpacking vacation. They say it was the best experience of my life. It better be for that cost. I mean, it's like with the Smith guys. Yeah, they better be damn good for the cost, but they've been productive. But other than that, on the defense, like who scares you? Plus, they give up 4.6 yards per carry on the ground. I actually think Mike Boone could do some damn damage here. All right, let's get into some of these questions. Chase Damshire Susan, could Stephon Diggs have the most fantasy points in this game? Yeah, he certainly could. Although I feel like Devontae Adams will get some in catch-up mode as they're down 30. Yeah. John Weaver, Skull from Rancho Cucamonga, California. I went to the Chargers game. It was an awesome home game. Yeah, I mean that the Vikings fan base. Something I love about the Vikings fan base is that they travel well. We are a nationwide fan base as well. Plus, if you have a game in like a warm location in December, it's going down. It's going down. So if the Vikings are like in LA or Texas or NOLA or Florida or even Arizona in December, I mean, the purple's traveling. It just is what it is. PK, $5 in the super chat. Vikes are last of the 6 teams to hit in my parlay. Need this. Green Bay's linebackers struggle with quick wide receivers. Boone fits that bill. Hit 12 often and rotate Hill. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And also rooting for you, PK. It'd be nice to hit that little parlay right before Christmas and the holidays. It'd be really sweet. Yeah, I mean, the Packers, the thing about it, Zadarius Smith, great pass rusher, but he covers like what doesn't have good coverage? AT&T? Sure. And then also Blake Martinez, also, Preston Smith is more of a DN playing outside linebacker, so, what can you do there? Oh, Adam. Okay, $10 in the super chat. Skull from San Diego from Adam Noikihu. Sorry if I butchered the last name, brother, but love you. Big props. Shout out. Let's see here. Evan, how many yards for Thielen? I feel like last week against San Diego, Los Angeles, whatever, the Chargers, Thielen was just getting eased back into the game. I think he had 4 catches for 39 yards or something like that. I think he has a pretty nice night tonight because Diggs or Thielen, they're going to get, either one of them is going to get a lot of attention. And I think operating out of the slot, I think that's where the Green Bay is pretty weak. I could see Thielen going 8 catches, 89 and a touchdown. A nice little stat line for Adam Thielen there. Plus, Thielen. So here's my dilemma. So I'm up 30 in my fantasy championship game. I have one player left. The other person's done. And I got Thielen. So do I just pull Thielen in case that he fumbles 16 times, or do I just let it ride? Yeah. Let's see here. Cedric Barton, you just jinxed us. AT&T has great coverage. Do they really, though? Do they really? Let's see here. Jake Kaufman, I painted my face up for the game last week, and a lot of cameramen were taking pictures, going to rep the Jeromes out there. Yeah, and now eventually Sid, who is the guy who dresses up as like the logo, 100% cheese free, met him, awesome dude. He likes to party, and he's like 60 or 65, so we do need a passing of the torch at some point. It's like Fireman Ed needs Fireman Ed kids, even though he retired. Eric Moe in the super chat. $5. Starting Mike Boone over Aaron Jones in my fantasy league. How many fantasy points do you think he'll get? Skull. Oof. That's a tough one. That's really tough because the Vikings' run defense hasn't been great this year. Yes, they are at home, but also Aaron Jones is basically the entire Packers offense. I like the Boone play. I do think it'll be mostly him. I don't think it'll be a significant split between him and Abdullah, although Abdullah will get some work. If it's PPR. You probably got to put him over 12. I could see him getting, all right, well, my heart says 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, but maybe more realistically puts up 80 yards on the ground and, 5 catches, 40 yards, and there's a touchdown in there somewhere. I think that's a pretty realistic stat line. PK, another $2 in the super chat. How about we got out to a 21-0 start? Roll copter skull. Yeah, just complete. How the turntables have. Yeah, just get that back. That pisses me off the most about this team, where they're a 10-4 team. Your record is what it says it is, but there's just so many games that you just gave away. That Seattle team, even before they had a running back injury Armageddon, they're very beatable, and they're just asking to get beaten on that Monday night. And yeah, I'm not into moral victories at this point in my life or career, but I mean, it is what it is there. You lost in Kansas City against Matt Moore, and you lost against Chicago against Chase frickin' Daniel, and you gave away that Green Bay game. I mean, yes, it was snatched away from you a little bit by the refs. A Delvin OPI on the Diggs should have been touchdown, but also you gave up 21 points in the first quarter, and also you had a shot from the 8-yard line, and you didn't get it done. So that's what's frustrating. Is what it is. Wartag, $3 in super chat. Will Xavier be traded or cut after the season? I think he's going to be cut, mainly because no one is going to trade for that contract. Like everyone has seen, it's become a national story of how bad that Xavier Rhodes has played in recent weeks or all season, and even going back to last season. So I think you just have to eat that $4.8 million dead on the cap. It does free up $8.1 million, and it does free up some cash if you want to pay Trey Waynes, if you want to definitely sign Mackenzie Alexander, Anthony Harris, etc. So I think, I don't think this is salvageable, and I don't think Xavier will be in the mood to restructure. I mean, he could hit free agency, and someone will still pay him a boatload of money because that's how the quarterback market works. Also, he's not moving to safety because A, you have two great safeties. B, Xavier will be a bad safety, and C, he costs too much. But other than that, Xavier would be a great safety. All right, let's see here. Little Skittles. KC was the worst loss. Seattle would have been most beneficial to get back. Yeah, to a degree. I think Green Bay would have been the most beneficial. But here's the thing. Like, it always frustrates me when, if a team starts out slow, it's like, well, it's just early in the season. All these games count the same, mother. Like, 1 of 16. Like, at the end, the tiebreakers don't factor in, well, this was 2 weeks ago, and this was week 3. No, it doesn't do that. So, when the Vikings just gave that game away, yes, referee aided, I was pissed. I was just so pissed because I knew. I knew that eventually that was going to come back and F the Vikings right in the A, basically because now the Vikings don't control their own destiny when it comes to the division. Like, they need the Lions, who are just like, mailed it in. We're on to 2020. There you go. Omar Max, would you rather go to New Orleans or Philly or Green Bay? My order would be Green Bay, Philly, New Orleans in terms of where I'd want to go. Yeah, because I feel like Green Bay familiarity is going to be mothered there. Plus, not scared going up to Lambeau. I think Philly. Yeah, they're getting healthy at the right time, but also they're from the NFC least. I think that'd be a pretty easy game if the Vikings got in the 5 seed there. And New Orleans is just like, rather not. Skull Nation, a buck in the super chat. Love you. All right, let's see here. Chandler asks, do you think Dalvin will be ready for the playoffs? I think that's the plan. Just rest him up these last 2 weeks. And also, if for some reason, somehow, some way, some miracle, like complete refs screw job, like the Montreal screw job comes here in Monday Night Football and the Vikings somehow lose to the Packers, Vikings can't improve their playoff standing, so just rest everyone week 17. But yeah, I think Dalvin is in one of those spots where the Vikings are comfortable with Boone. Because if you look back at the Kufansky running game historically, you look at Kubiak and Dennison, you go all the way back to Denver. It's like, oh, Terrell Davis, who's the 6th round nobody from Georgia. Oh, he's one of the greatest running backs of all time before injury took him. Oh, there you go. Or Orlandis Gary, some 4th round jabroni out of Oregon. We'll take that. Oh, Mike Anderson, this dude used to be in the Marine Corps. Yeah, hoorah, run for 1,000 yards, man. And then Clinton Portis and blah, blah, blah. So, Dalvin, don't get me wrong, is an extremely talented player, but also with this outside zone scheme, it is a little bit of plug and play. It really is. Hey, can you have a quick guy who can find the cutback lane and put his foot in the ground? Okay, that's Mike Boone. He fits the system to a T. Chris Riel, $2 in the super chat. Excited to see Boone. Prediction in yards and touchdowns. Actually, hell, I'm going for it. 150 and 2 touchdowns. Bring it. Viking 44, Chuck Foreman, greatest Viking. I think you might be biased. You're that or you're a big Matt Asiata fan. Give him by your handle. Skull from Denver. What's up? Honolulu Western. Good question. Andy, who is covering Devonta? Better be Holton Hill. I think it's going to be the Zimmer rotation yet again. So I think it will be a cavalcade of Rhodes will be in there. Holton Hill will be in there. Mike Hughes will be in there. Trey Waynes will be in there. Mack will even be playing on the outside a little bit. I think that would be smart. And I think just not having Rhodes shadow Adams, which, by the way, if you look back, Adams has kind of made Xavier his B like the last couple matchups, so this might be a good thing. Wilbert, Miway, do you see Curse staying after the season? Well, what complicates things with Curse is that he's going to have a suspension coming. Like, he's going to suspension. So that may affect his money, and it may affect him so much so that, say just for guesstimation, it's a 4-game suspension. Or, sure. Teams may not even sign him till after those 4 games. Even though they could secure his rights and they don't have to pay him while he's suspended, I mean, they just may have to wait because the safety market is already a depressed market as it is. And then also, even though he's a niche position, it's like he's not a slot corner, he's not a safety, he's not a linebacker. What is he? I feel like those markets of niche and specialty players are really tough to gauge. So he may not even have a land rush to sign there. Where I think it would be smart for him to re-up with the Vikings, maybe a 1-2 year deal, because obviously he thrives in this system. He thrives as being this niche player. Maybe he wants to go somewhere and start, but also, I mean, this is a team that, I mean, if he was on the Patriots, he probably would have gotten cut. Yeah, if he did what he did. But they're like, all right, we're gonna stand by you. We're gonna let this play out. We're gonna get you some help. We're gonna do all that up. There we go. All right. Sun Ryu Jin, $2. Skull from the toilet seat. What is up, babe? All right. We're gonna do. Let's see what we're gonna do. All right. Pause stream. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Keep the questions in the chat going. And so we're back from outer space. That's right. All right, so we got the Jermaine Wiggins jersey on in the house again. Shout out to my friend Tom. All right. All right. Did you guys see the news that Mike McCarthy's interviewing for the Panthers? If I'm Cam, I would just retire. I would just quit. I'd be like, F that. F that. All right, so back to the chat. Who's that dude? Does Amir fumble tonight? Likely we had 5 to 10 carries. Worries me. Well, historically, what says that Amir Abdullah would fumble? I don't know. Blaine Jones, tight end situation next year with Morgan and Gronklin. Well, Gronklin's still under contract, still on his rookie deal. I think David Morgan, that knee worries me. The fact that it just lingered on and on and on all preseason. and then into the regular season. But I mean, I would welcome him back on a cheap deal, but I am afraid that he would go elsewhere. Dylan Whalen, how many Hunter sacks tonight? Over under 1.5. Well, he gets to go against Brian Balaga all night, so I may be tempted to take the over with odds. Sure. Paul Carmichael, Skull Vikings from Eagan, Minnesota. Shout out to powerful South Metro. That's how we roll. Jose Vasquez, if we have a chance at Teddy, would you pull the trigger? Ah, man. I mean, the heart says yes, but the head says Kirk Cousins had the best season of his career. I do think a lot of it is attributed to Kevin Stefanski and this offensive scheme. I mean, you build an offensive scheme around a quarterback's strengths and hide his weaknesses. Who knew? Who knew? What is going on? I'll say no. That hurts. Yeah. It would be more of a question if Kirk was out of contract this offseason, as well as Teddy being a free agent. But I'm happy for Teddy. No matter where he goes, I actually think it might not be New Orleans because I don't think Drew Brees is retiring anytime soon. I actually think he thinks he can do this for 3 more years. Baloney. But Teddy's going to go somewhere, and he's going to get paid, son. Undefeated. That's right. Love it. Ray, Green Bay is getting exposed tonight. Damn straight on national television. Yeah, the tide is going out, and you're going to see who's skinny dipping. It's the Packers fans. Ugh. Ugh. Sam White, Skull Vikes from Cannon Falls. Baby, that's right. Love me some Cannon Falls. It's a shame they took out the stoplight on 52 because it really killed much of Cannon Falls industry. But what can you do? All right, Mookie asks, you think Tua's going to fall to us? I think it's a distinct possibility that he may fall to the back end of the first round. And it would be interesting for teams like the Patriots, although they seem pretty happy with Etling, or teams with older core. Oh, Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay would be an interesting candidate where if you have a team with an established starter, but a little bit longer in the tooth, do they take a shot on Tua? Or it is a team that's desperate for a quarterback but still multi-years away. Do they trade back into the first and grab him on his rookie deal with the 5th-year option? And you let him heal up a year, which they should. I don't know. Ting if Kevin Stefanski left for a head coach gig, would you bring back Pat Shurmur? Yeah, that would be my first choice. Second realistic choice may be Clint Kubiak. Yeah. I know it's insane. I know he's like 12 years old and he's only has 1 year as a quarterback's coach. But if Cousins is going to be here, Cousins has obviously thrived in the scheme that the two Kubiaks and Stefanski has helped cooked up. So if Stefanski does leave, and barring Clint Kubiak leaving with him, I would strongly consider Clint Kubiak being elevated. As long as Gary Kubiak is still here, is like, there you go, son. There you go. All right. All right, we'll do a couple more of these, and then we'll sign off for the pregame show. We'll be back for halftime, and hopefully it's a lot of good thing and a lot of S talking. Tad Trader, Pad Thai or Drunken Noodle? Pad Thai. Yeah, just sounds good right now. Let's see here. AJC, Andy, do you think Boone will fill Dalvin's pass option in the scheme or strictly just in run or RPOs or whatnot? He has no catches. I think Mike Boone is a very underrated receiver. I mean, you saw in the preseason. I think he had 8 catches this preseason. He was a wide receiver when he went into the University of Cincinnati. He's got great receiver skills. He runs great routes. The only question is that his pass blocking, it has gotten better. It has gotten better to the point where you're comfortable with him on all the downs. I mean, maybe. But yeah, I think this could be a really big night for Mike Boone. James Morris drove 10 hours from Detroit. Skull, baby. That's a long drive, man. Enjoy yourself. Let's see. Oh, now we got Packer fans in the chat. Madison officially out. Oh, wait, are inactives out? Let's check that out on the Google machine. All right, inactives. Madison's out. Dalvin's out. Oli Udo is out again. Avante Collins out again. Drew Samia is out again. Jalen Holmes out again. And Hercules Mataofa out again. What's been more disappointing? The complete ignoring of Drew Samia as the Vikings, especially early on, had offensive line trouble. And also Hercules Mataofa and Jalen Holmes. They've just disappeared. So excited for them in preseason and the beginning of the season, but now it's just, where are they? Where they be? I want to know. It's all right. All right, two more. Give me some good ones, boys and gals. Actually, do you think females watch this channel? I'm sure they do. I mean, we have to look in the back end analytics. I'm sure it would be like 2%, but you know. Mr. Popo, I like that 5th seed over the 3 seed. Careful what you wish for, man. I mean, having that 3rd seed, you have at least one home game, and barring how things shake out in the playoffs, it could be 2. You could host the NFC title game. But yeah, going down the road. I mean, when the Eagles won the stupid Super Bowl, I did think that they were the most overrated 1 seed in NFL history. Didn't quite work out. So, playoffs are a different beast. Vikings, obviously undefeated. If they got the 3 seed, they would end up going undefeated at home 8-0. And obviously, you would want to have a game here at least one game here at Thunderdome. Shout out. All right, last one. Oh, super chat from Chris Ryle. Over or under 3 ref calls that could F the game. I'm going to say under, but it's going to be one big one. Yeah, that's all we got. All right, that's the pre-stream live chat. You know what to do. Love doing this with you guys, and hopefully you just keep enjoying the content. We're back at halftime, so tune in then, and as hopefully we'll be gloating or maybe bitching about stuff. You don't really know, but you know what to do. Subscribe, Venmo, all that stuff. Skull, production value.